Okay, so welcome to the third episode of the Entrepreneur podcast. Thank you for taking the time to join us. I haven't sat down with you in a while. You're a very busy gentleman, so thank you as well.
Traveling a lot. No, it's always a pleasure. It's always.
Yeah.
I wish I could do this more frequently.
It's fun, it's fun. Whenever you're with us, we're always happy. We're always happy. So the last time we had an episode, we were actually speaking to Teresa, talking about the importance of networking. And so we're sitting here today because we just want to recap on that, the importance of networking. But you also have some very important pointers that you want to bring forth to the table today.
Yeah, just my reflections on that conversation, which was so great in a sense that we crossed so many lines there,
Yeah.
in terms of professions, in terms of, the racial lines. I think what happens with us is we stick to what we know. So I'm a software developer, I'll stick with software developers. Or if I'm a certain race, if there's a meeting, I'll go and stand with the guys there. But it boxes us in, right? That's such a terrible thing, because we don't know what great opportunities there might be over there. I think we as South Africans, especially in this climate, we need to break out of that.
I think it's because it's comfort. You want to be comfortable.
It's comfort. It's a comfort zone.
Yeah.
So my one student texted me this week. He said, I think maybe my comfort zone is bad for me. I said to him, no, your comfort zone is killing you. Get out of your comfort zone.
That was a great answer you gave him. Yeah.
Yeah. No, too long we have this thing that, I can only do business. Maybe those guys don't want to do business with me. It's not like that. It's not like that.
She actually recently invited me to a networking session that happens in Pinetown once a month.
Yeah.
It was quite a very broad audience. I'm talking different races. And I was actually just very surprised. At the end of the session, I met a young gentleman who was actually a barrister working at a coffee shop in Belito. And I was like, what are you doing here? Because it had to do with AI and the advancements of AI, what you need to do in that industry. And he said, no, they recruited me because they were always at my shop and I was there selling coffee and we made conversation. And then eventually they are like, oh, we need you to do this homework because we see you do coffee every now and then, but we see that you have a lot of time in your hands. So take this homework, do this. And then eventually he just became a part of the team. And just like that, now he's moving around with them. Now he's a part of the AI team. I was like, imagine that opportunity because you were at the right place at the right time and you were inquisitive enough. And it's not because he was looking for the network just found him. Yeah,
I think the more we do that and the more we push ourselves out of our comfort zone, the better. I found myself in gatherings. Look at me. I'm this Indian dude with a big beard. I found myself many times in networking sessions where there was only young white people. And I was like the only Indian dude. I'm like, but that's life. It's what you make of it. And they were so great. Everybody was just so great. Deals were made there. Handshakes were done. So I think it's more important now than ever that we break those barriers, especially with with all the potential that South Africa has for business. We just have to get out there.
And you were talking about how even in business, if it happens so that your business does not succeed, at least you have this network behind you, a support system that you've built permanently that can help you progress, even if you want to divert into something else. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, look, this is something that's important for young South Africans. Number one, stop looking at American content creators, because American content creators generally they do it for the views, right? They lie to you. Why they lie? Maybe they do it unwittingly. I'm not saying they are bad people, but when somebody tells you do A, B, C, and then you will succeed, that's a lie, because there's no guarantees in business. I've been grinding away at this for 7 years. Ask my team, ask Namzamo. She was a kid when she joined us, and we're still grinding. We haven't reached our financial goals. So there's no guarantees, but there are the things which you can control and the things which you can't control, right? So the things you can control, go out there, make networks, link up with people, sit with people, have conversations. I've got are people who are my mentors, who are across
You have mentors.
I have mentors, one or two who are younger than me.
Oh, wow.
Like
okay.
my one mentor, she was actually one of the people that spoke at the FMB App Academy last year. Eddie, her name is. She's based in Spain. She's younger than me, but what a brilliant business mind she's got, you know. Then I've got Jose, who's in Guatemala also. Then we've got Amin, who's in Malaysia, also a mentor. And believe it or not, Vusi Tembekwayo, he's one of my mentors, even though I've never met him, because the man is brilliant. He's built something, you know, and that's the kind of person. I don't want somebody who read a book and is teaching me from there. So to me, it's all about having these people around me who can guide me. Right. So when you are in business, you build up this, you build up these networks. See, you and I are friends, right? We are part of each other's networks now. If my business fails tomorrow, you're still part of my network. Why? Because we've formed a relationship working with each other. And that's what young people don't understand, or people who do business, who start off in business, they don't understand. That as you are working, there's actually a Chinese term for it, it's called shi. Shi is when you build up momentum. You don't realize, say you're practicing sports, or you're doing art, or you're doing business, there are a lot of things you are building up. You might not be making money. The money is the last part. That is the end result. But you're building up networks. You're building up knowledge. You're building up wisdom. You're building up skill. You're building up whatever, you know, and you're growing with that. If the business doesn't work, that's fine. That didn't work, but you still got all these other intangibles.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't know that what you are seeing now, IT Varsity online, is actually the second IT Varsity. The first one failed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I think you were probably a teenager when the first IT Varsity was operating in Field Street in Durban. I think now it's Joe Slovo Street, right? We had this campus there. It was a beautiful campus, big campus. We had lots of kids, lots of students, but it never worked out. Financially, we just couldn't make it work, and the investors pulled out and it collapsed. Then 4 or 5 years later, I started this IT Varsity. This is doing much better than that one did. Because why? I'm wiser. I know what mistakes I made. I know where I put focus that I shouldn't have. My networks are still there. I still rely on the same people that I relied on back then. All the learnings from social media that I'm doing today came from there. It all started there. And so, in fact, let me tell you something interesting, right? Last year's App Academy was the biggest in history. I think this year's too never even came close to those numbers. How did we end up with that? Sorry, I'm talking too much, right?
Hey, listen, I am learning here. I am learning.
So how we ended up with that is the guys that founded it, the guys that started it, when they started back in 2014, 2015, they came up to me one day from Joburg, and they said to me, Bilal, you know what? We want to run, you got lovely premises here, we want to run a little event. Can we use it, and how much will you charge us? So I looked at these two young ladies and I said, you know what? There's no way you can pay me. Never mind, use it for free. So they came and they had the event, and they had another and another, and they went on to become successful in what they are doing. You even look, these guys are geek culture, fantastic guys. So they went to become successful, and they became integrated with the App Academy. And that's how we got drawn in years later into that. So that little deed I did for them became a big deed that they did for me subsequently. You see, it always comes around. So that's why I say, build up your networks, help who you can along the way, share your knowledge. It's going to come back. It's going to come back and benefit you someday. But we don't do it for that, right? We do it because we just love to do it.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. I've learned so much today. It's a wrap. I'm joking.
Brain overload.
I'm telling you, I did not even know that IT Varsity, this was the second time. Why do you think it had to take you 4 to 5 years for you to okay, this is the perfect time for me to start again? I feel like there's a time frame in between played a role in what you did and why you took that time, etc.
So when that first IT Varsity collapsed, I lost everything, right? I had no money after that, and I basically started working from my garage again. It was tough, and I made up my mind that I'm not going to take investors anymore, because you see, my investors were great people. They were fantastic people. I'm still in touch with them today, but the one passed away. But they are hardcore capitalists. For them, it's money, money, money.
Okay.
And for me, it's yes, I'd like to make money, but I'd like to create impact also. I like to teach people something valuable. And so there was always that tension between me and them. And so that's why the relationship didn't work out. I think two good people, the relationship didn't work. It happens all the time. So then I went to work. Me and my boys, we used to go school to school teaching kids to code, and then I started working for Damelin Educor, and I started splitting my salary in two. Half of my money went into the business, half went into running my home. Okay. And I built up capital like that. And then, but while I was doing that, I was also slowly, building the tech infrastructure, the learning management system that everybody's using today. 300,000 people have used it. So it started then. And then we had enough money after about 5 years that I could support my family for about 3 to 4 months. Not a lot, just 3 to 4 months. And so I made the decision, let's leave work now and start focusing on my business. This was in late 2019. And then COVID came, and then we've been running since then. So that's why it took me time, because I collected money rather than going to investors and running it. Even now, up till today, no investors. There are people who are chasing me. They said, hey, you know what, we want to invest. No, sorry. You don't want to work with me. I'm not an easy fellow to work with. I'm a nasty fellow.
I'd like to think otherwise, but I'm hardly ever around you, so I don't know.
No, it's not. It's just that I know who these guys are. They are fantastic human beings, but they are hardcore capitalists. And in Africa, that does not work. It just doesn't. We're not here to exploit. We're here to, and this is what I keep saying to them, we're here to give and take, to grow, but grow others. The whole concept of Ubuntu.
That makes sense. Especially, that's, I think, the reason why it takes so long to actually build a network. And we did speak about this the last time, because at times you do meet people and you think, okay, we have things in common. There's a lot of interests and things that we can get along with, and then eventually or somewhere down the line you realize, no, there's some glitches here where we're just going to clash in the long run, because the alignment is not really aligning. There are things that are just not going to work in the long run. So it does take a bit of Teresa did say that it takes even more than a year actually to build that network around you.
It takes years and years.
Yeah, it takes years.
Years and years. And but it's well worth it, because most of my biggest deals that we had at IT Varsity didn't come from proposals we put out. It came from networks. Somebody referred somebody, and here we are.
Yeah.
That's important. So I would say again to you young people out there, keep working, keep building these. Well, the most important thing is your networks, but it's also your skill. And stop watching YouTube videos. Okay, watch these YouTube videos, but stop at some point and say, right, I'm going to stop watching and I'm going to start doing. Because one pinch of doing is better than one ocean of watching others doing.
Yeah.
Because you learn, right? I can sit here and describe to you how an orange tastes, but until you cut that orange and taste it yourself, you'll never know. So I would say carry on making the effort, build up your knowledge, build up your experience, fall. Get hurt, get up, dust yourself, because that's all water building up in the dam. The Chinese say, so that concept of shi is momentum. So they say, actually this is in Sun Tzu, Art of War. So they say if you're looking at a dam wall from the wall side, not the water side, you can't see anything. It's still, but the water is rising, 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 rising. And then one day that sluice gate opens and that water just comes out. That water doesn't have pressure on its own. It's just that it had time to accumulate. That's what you are. You as young as you are a dam. You are building up, you're damming up what? Knowledge, skills, networks, experience, wisdom. And someday, that's gonna benefit you. But there's no guarantees, right? And I don't like when these Americans, when they say, you know what, do A, B, and C, and then you'll succeed. It doesn't work like that. There's no, I mean, I believe that the decision is left to him above.
Yeah.
We do our best. And then if he wants, he'll give it to us. And if the time is not right, then we sit in the line and wait. We're all standing in the line.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So what did you take away from last episode?
There's a number of things that I took away. Where would I even begin? She spoke about so many things.
Yeah.
But the sole purpose, the reason why we're recapping here is about the fact that it actually takes years to create that network. That's the one thing, the most important thing that I took away.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, we did speak about important things, but for me, that was the highlights because, like you said, I am young, so I still have a whole journey ahead of me to figure out. But with every episode, there's always that one highlight for me, and that was the highlight.
Yeah, if it's any, I'm giving myself some comfort here. I think the Colonel started KFC at age 65.
Okay.
You know the white guy?
Yeah.
He was 65 when he started KFC. See what he's become today. So yeah, we're all still figuring ourselves out. Yeah. But I think, I mean, if you look at South Africa right now, so I was watching some videos because of all this thing around the spaza shops. I did not know the spaza economy is worth almost $1 trillion rands in this country. You know, everybody is looking at America. Again, please stop. You know, in America, you only see the ones who start this tech company and that tech company. But you don't know, the guys that are sitting in the spaza shop are doing so well for themselves. Nobody knows about them. Nobody hears about them.
And then you see why there's so much commotion, why people are fighting for a piece of that pie. It's because they know the value behind it.
Yeah.
It's just because it's underestimated, because it's so informal.
Correct.
You know.
And I would say to young South Africans, now's the time. Okay, the foreigners are gone. Seize the opportunity now.
Yeah.
Open up a spaza shop. Never mind, you don't know the first thing about it. Just start. Get a bunch of chips and cold drinks and milk and sweets and start selling it and grow it from there. And see where it goes from there. It's a golden opportunity now, and it's a huge opportunity. And I think we need to jump on it, man. We need you guys
even
to jump
better
on
for the youth, because now they have social media. They can just advertise their things on TikTok galore, and people will just be like, where are you situated? That's usually the common comment there. So I'm just like, so much easier now.
And people will support you, right? People you will support if you're authentic, if you're genuine. People will come and they will support you. That's the best part, and you will only grow from there. If you look after your money, you'll grow from there.
It also depends on your creativity. There's a lot of car salesmen that I see there on TikTok trying to sell cars, and then there's this one particular gentleman who said the reason why, he said, if you do not buy yourself a car, just know that your girlfriend is going to get a lift from someone in the street somewhere. The men shared that post, that video so many times because of, that insecurity now. Like, oh my gosh, someone's going to take my girlfriend in the streets. And that's how his video trended. I was like, something so simple. He just sat down. He's like, listen, I know you're sitting at home, you don't have a car. If you do not buy a car, your girlfriend's going to be taken in the streets by some man. How do you feel about that? And that's
the thing I don't like about social media. You can go out there, say the stupidest, provocative thing, and because people react to it, and people don't realize by giving angry reactions, like Nomzamo puts out a video and I start going at her, I'm actually helping her. Because the algorithm is bubbling her up.
Exactly.
No, it's not like that. It's hard work, it's a slog, it's networking, and asking people for help, asking people to guide you. I say one thing to my students. I say, we Indians are not easy to like. We are like the middle child. We neither here nor there, right? But if you go and ask a person for advice on running a business, they won't stop. They will not stop talking. They will give you all the advice and all the help. So don't be afraid to go up to people and say, hey, you know what? I'm opening up a spaza shop. So you go to a wholesale, for example, right? Phoenix Cash and Carry, wherever, and say to them, look, I want to start a business, so and so, I need advice. the guys will go out of their way to help you. But it's not just out of kindness of their heart, because if you go and make a success of that, then they've got themselves a customer. You're going to keep buying from them. So don't be afraid to go and ask for help, because you learn so much from people just by asking. You know, I put out a video earlier this year, and I was thinking for like 6 months, I was thinking, should I say this or should I not say this? Because I'll come out like a racist bastard if I don't word it correctly. And I said, see, people wonder, like, hey, these Indians, how they're doing so good in business. It's because we've been freaking business people for 5,000 years, right? My father, my grandfather, great-grandfather, everyone that I can remember, I grew up between their legs, you know, learning how to do business. Now, Nomzamo here didn't have that opportunity, right? Under apartheid, I hate to say this, it hurts me to say this, but the black population was seen as the laborer class. You guys were, well, not you guys, your forefathers were trained to be laborers. You were given the menial education, and it was said, like, you guys are going to go. So you didn't have that advantage of learning entrepreneurship, learning the challenge, the struggle, the stress. Ask her how we stress, you know. One day these guys are all driving BMWs, then people will say, hey, this Mr. Katrata is so rich. But right now, we are puzzling month to month. So that hard work that goes into it, take a mentor and learn from them. Go and learn from these people. If somebody is successful, don't hate them for their success. Go and ask them, how were you successful? 9 out of 10 times, Yolanda, they'll advise you. They'll take you under their wing and they'll advise you. 1 out of 10 will be an ass. You don't know about that, right?
Yeah, true.
Mimic their success. That's what learning is all about, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm talking too much today. Nomzamo, I'm talking too much today, isn't it?
I think that's a wrap, though, on the recap. On the networking, as far as networking is concerned. We will be doing this again soon. But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Yeah, thanks. And for the views, there's lots of views. Like I was saying, I watch our videos, I look at the numbers. The shorts are doing very well, especially the ones with my pretty face on it. I'm just joking.
No, you're not lying. You're not lying. I was just figuring out, how is it that you are so captivating? Like you find ways of engaging. I'm still trying to learn how to do that. Well, but I'll get it right eventually. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.